how's it going, you guys? A couple of people on here. Actually, I'm just gonna get out my notebook, my things. How's everyone doing? Thanks for being here. Oh, I gotta grab a deck of cards. One sec. Hey, little girl, go ahead and lay down. All right, I'm gonna get some cards out too. I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm gonna go where I'm drawn. I'm gonna do mostly cards tonight, but if something pops through on people's energy, I'll bring that up too. Because I don't like to box myself into one thing when I do my readings. I go in with an intention, but then if something else comes through, I'm not gonna like dismiss it. I'll let it come through, you know what I mean? Hey from Texas, how are you? Hi Sassy Southern. Hi from South Carolina. I'm actually going to be down there. I'm going to Hilton Head the end of April. I can't wait. Oh my God. I'm so ready to be done with winter, you guys. Like, it's March. Like, let's be done with the snow. Oh, Lapeer, hey. Hey, Try Kind. I think I'm reading that right. Namaste, man. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, Shadow 1539 Hilton Head. I go there every year. Not last year, but the year before I went there twice. I was like, I almost actually bought a condo there. I was this close, and I couldn't find a condo that would take 4 dogs. So that's literally the only reason why I didn't move there. So yeah, my dogs kept me in Michigan. So hey, from California, Melissa, where in California are you? Ooh, Bay Area, nice. Hi, Schaefer Queen, you're new. New to TikTok or new to my live? Welcome. Thank you for being here. And you guys also feel free, if you have personal questions you want to ask me about what I do. Anchor at home with my 3 fur babies. Yeah, you feel me, right? Totally. Oh, Oakland. Okay, yeah. I was born and raised in Dana Point in San Clemente area. Ooh, Utah. Oh, my heart. So Utah, I'm not sure whereabouts you are. Go to Laverkin, Utah, at the entrance of Zion and eat at Oscar's. They have the best food ever. Their hamburgers and their shrimp tacos are the bomb. And Laverkin's beautiful, which I'm sure you know because you're from Utah. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I love it. Oh, I love how you guys are all saying where you're from. This is so cool. Thank you so much. This makes me so happy. So yeah, Colleen Shep 17, definitely. And then Oakland, California. I forget your name on your TikTok. Colleen Shep 17, you're second. And then Oakland, California. I can't remember your TikTok name. I want to draw a card for you. You came through right away, but I got to talking. So I know you're on here, so I'm actually going to get right into cards. Oh, tonight's energy, you guys. It's a new moon. So awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So let me shuffle up some cards, get my groove on, and then also, I have a feeling there's going to be some parents that come through for people. I'm feeling the medium vibe. Like there's feelers out there. They're like, oh, she's here. So if you have somebody on the other side that you want to connect with, you don't have to comment, but just be like, yeah, man, come through. Like, send me a sign, something. Because tonight I'm going to just read who I'm drawn. And then the other thing too, you guys, if I don't get to you tonight for some reason that I'm not able to get a card out or a reading, feel free to message me at my Facebook. It's Define Your Glow. And I'll totally discount the price. My TikTok followers and people who are on my lives, I have a discount price for you guys. So you can just message me and we'll get you scheduled. Oakland, California. I'm going to start with you. Yes, you're welcome. Melissa, thank you. So Melissa, when you came through right away, it was like switch. But not like the cliche, like, oh, I feel like you're going through a shift and oh, there's a change. This is like the ball dropped and it's time to hustle. I feel like you've been in the same place for too long And I think the way you feel is like, well, I should probably wait a little bit longer. It just doesn't feel quite right. And it feels career related, but it also feels like kind of like life in general. Like the career shift will put your position in your life right now. It'll get you back on track. I feel like the last couple of years have been kind of a cluster. You don't feel like you've been grounded. You feel like you've been just kind of like flying day by day. Like you eat on the fly, you make decisions on the fly. You don't really take time to like stop and think about what you're doing and why, or where you're going and when. You're just like constantly making decisions. And to me, that feels like old energy from, I don't want to say trauma, but from just crazy like life events. Oh, perfect. Career just shifted. Okay, awesome. That's exactly perfect. So good. I'm on track. So that makes sense to me, because that needed to happen to get you back on track, because you feel like you got derailed about 2 years ago, and it's just been constant like washing machine, like just spin cycle. What the hell's going on? So I want to draw a card on the career energy, because I feel like that's what you needed to happen to get you back on track. So, oh, who is bashing? No bashing. So you just started your job on Monday. All right, badass. Is there really a city called Slaughter in Louisiana? Wow. And from Detroit, Michigan, hello. Passed away pet and a new opportunity. Oh, I'm so sorry you lost your pet. Aw. And a love opportunity. Ooh, that's exciting. If that comes through, I will definitely, the love opportunity. Janet on the burrito. I love your name. Hang on one sec. I'm going to do a card on the love, because that feels really new, like brand new. So I'm going to tap into that. But for now, I'm going to get to Melissa and her card about her career, because that's really good. That shift needed to take place, and I also feel like that's going to be your time to shine. So I think the way things transpired, it tells me you got through what you were supposed to get through. Now, like, you learned your lessons, you have your wisdom, it's time to move forward. Okay. So I'm actually going to go between, let me see here, these two cards. I'm drawing two because they both were like sticking out to me. Thank you so much for the roses, you guys. I really appreciate that. So inspiration and divination came through. And if that isn't validation right there, like using your divination and using that energy to manifest and transpire what you truly want to be and where you truly want to live in your power. The divination card right away tells me through this job shift, you reclaimed your power. And I think a lot of that, now that I think about it, a lot of the crazy that was going on, it was a toxic work environment, and you shifted, you bounced out of it. I think you kind of, like, you pulled in the oars, you kept your head down, and you got through it. And then when a new opportunity came, you jumped on it. So I think that's amazing. If that's how that transpired, well done. So the inspiration card, you were being called. Thank you for the pet machine. That's amazing. Be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from inspiration. Dusk or dawn, being inspired will call on you at any time. So that to me feels like almost like kind of past trickling into the present, because I feel like you were inspired by the conflict and the issues you were having. Like, that alone in itself was inspiration. Like, people sometimes think being inspired means peppy, motivational talks and high energy. Sometimes feeling like crap and being in a toxic environment, that inspires us to move out of it, right? And find our truth and find what we're supposed to be. So I feel like that's what took place. Like, it was a toxic situation. It was a toxic setting that was surrounding you. And it inspired you to like dig deep and find a higher purpose and like basically find higher ground. You know what I mean? So you could get up and out. But the inspiration card, I'm just going to go right to the book. The one thing I really like about this card, hang on one sec here. Oh, here we are. And let me mark the page for divination. You're actually getting 2 cards today because clearly Spirit has some messages for you. But the inspiration card, what I love about this card is she's just like free and she's floating. She's in a white dress. She has her wings open. She's just flying high and loving life. All things beautiful. The purples, the greens, the blues, everything's just like free. Flowers, foliage, which are a sign of abundance. Flowers, a sign of like growth. It's almost like a spring type energy, like transitioning into something new. There's like so many positive vibes around this card. So I'm going to hold it up just in case you want to take a photo of it, like a screenshot. So there's that. And then with this card, it says, be prepared as you soon will receive a visit from your fairy of inspiration. The fairy of inspiration is full of ideas and gladly to share with you. All you need to do is be receptive of the whispers. She may plant most fantastical ideas in your head, but remember, you always have a choice. So if an idea doesn't resonate with you, then simply let it go. It may be meant for somebody else. So really be connected into your energy, like hone in on what comes to you. Because I feel like the thoughts that come to you, I know this card's like, well, if it comes to you, you have a choice. If it doesn't resonate, leave it. I'm over here like, do it. Like whatever ideas come to you, run with them. But if it doesn't feel like it resonates, take something from that idea and apply it. Because sometimes we think like outside the box, or we're thinking based on something that's around us. So it gets like the thought almost gets kind of manipulated a little bit. But definitely start thinking big, start thinking expansion, start seeing yourself in a state of growth and abundance, and really give yourself space to think and have visions of where you would see yourself, because I really feel like you're going to get catapulted into something really cool. It says call on the fairy call on the fairy of inspiration whenever you feel you're lacking. So side note, don't live in the mindset of lack. With money, don't look at your bank account and be like, I don't have any money. I can't do this and I can't do that because I need money for this. I need money for that. Be like, my account doesn't have anything in it, so there's space for money. Because the balance comes with just knowing that there's an empty space, and the empty space means something's coming. So see your bank account, see anything that doesn't have what you want, see it as a space for what you want is coming. So start shifting that mindset. What you want is coming. The space is there. The shift has been made. Things are going to come to you. So that'll help remove that mindset of lack. Allow your senses to perceive all beauty around you and set your intention and allow the inspiration to flow. Okay. Now the divination card. Good stuff here, girl. So divination, that's this card, and this card's so beautiful, you guys. Wait till you see this card. All things green, all things Mother Earth energy, your Mother Earth Gaia. I mean, look at that. Does that get any better? You've got the flame, the fire. So there's your fire energy, all the cards. It's just such a magical card, right? And just connecting to the divine, that divination energy of just pulling it all in, opening up those chakra centers, letting that energy flush through, like bam. So the divination card, embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clarity glow. Anything can be used for divination purposes. These cards, crystals, crystal ball, the flame, all things in the card. In fact, anything that opens the psychic doorway can be used and will enable you to see what's coming. Divination also brings you fully into the present moment. It's not about fortune telling for thrills, although the future truths can be revealed. It's more about working with divine powers to reveal what will help towards spiritual progression for yourself and for others. It's a spiritual practice, and it isn't something to be dabbled with for amusement. For all of those listening, divination is a serious spiritual practice, and it isn't something meant to be dabbled in for amusement. You listening? Okay, everybody. That applies to everybody. But it's a beautiful way of stating, don't screw around with spirit unless you're serious, because shit gets real when you become spiritual. I'm just going to let you know right now. You might experience visions or come to know things that need to be handled delicately or with empathy when sharing with others. If you feel confident, you could give readings to friends or family. So this is basically talking about just getting more spiritually adapted. And I'm going to kind of take this card a little bit into a different direction. So here's the thing. This card's talking about being spiritually connected and connecting with cards, connecting with candles, and connecting with all those things that we use to really put ourselves out there spiritually. However, if there are people that are not necessarily spiritual in the sense of oracle cards and crystals, but they do feel that connection, they do feel that flow of love, tap into that. You don't have to use oracle cards and candles and incense and crystals to be a spiritual being. You can be a spiritual being just with the awareness of knowing that you're in a spiritual space. Maybe someone that passed, that's a loved one, maybe they're around you, you feel them. That in itself is spiritual. When you get a gut feeling, you're like, shit's going down, something's coming. That's being spiritual. It's the enlightenment that comes through as you start to hear those messages, have those visions, whether it's in your sleep or while you're wide awake and you just have a vision, maybe you're at work. That also is spiritual. And as you adapt into that and kind of like embrace it, that's when other things come in that you can use as tools to make you more spiritual, whether it's an oracle card or a crystal, or it could be essential oils. Those are the tools that people use to help heighten their spirituality, and that comes with the choice. That comes with whatever you're drawn to. So don't feel like, well, I'm not spiritual because crystals aren't drawn to me. No big deal. If you can walk outside barefoot and feel yourself just get flushed with energy, that's the connection of Mother Earth Gaia energy. Congratulations, you're spiritual. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, Melissa, these are your cards. Inspiration, divination. Okay? All right. So thank you for that. And I'm watching the comments go through. So hopefully that kind of helps resonate and give you some direction as you move into your new job, which congratulations, by the way, that's pretty amazing. And yes, going barefoot outside, you guys, seriously. I'm in Michigan. It was 15 degrees out today. I was outside barefoot walking in the snow. It is one of the best things to do. And grounding, for trauma and like PTSD and healing trauma, ice and cold are one of the best things for that, because illness is acid's illness, but either one or the other. Trauma creates acid levels in the body. It makes us more acidic if we don't release it. The acidic creates inflammation, which creates illness. So when you get out in the cold, physically, yes, it does help with inflation in being inflamed. Inflammation, or it also helps with the overall spiritual body. That ice literally helps neutralize that traumatic energy that flows through us. We might even be aware of it. We think, it was when I was 10 years old. I'm 50 years old now. I let go of that a long time ago. Maybe not. If you're suffering some sort of physical symptom, it's most likely connected to that trauma, okay? And that trauma you can release through a variety of modalities, but ice baths, or even, they don't have to be ice. It can be just like cold water, or soaking your feet in an ice bath is amazing. Okay, so the next person I had, Colleen Shep 17, are you still here? Oh, thank you, Tracy. Oh, absolutely. Mama Mort 91. Yes, 100%. I don't even need to connect to him. Yes, because... Oh, Colleen Shep 17. Gotcha. Give me one sec. So the stepdad with the Eagles. Yes, that was him, because I feel like you were asking him. So today, what he is showing me, first of all, he's kind of square in the shoulders. When he was younger, he had like darker wavy hair. His jaw was kind of defined, but I feel like his face was more round, but you could still see like his jawline. He had like a loud belly laugh, and I feel like he had like a real quick sense of humor. Like he was always one to like poke and banter. Today, he is showing me you were outside, and something caught your eye. I see you with your phone, but I think I'm wrong. But something caught your eye, and you were asking him a life question. Like something's coming, and you're not really sure about it. And I almost want to say it's a relationship. You're like, should I go through with, it feels like a relationship. I almost feel like you're thinking about parting ways, and you were like in that space of like, should I do it? And the eagles came. Were there 3? I think you said 3 eagles. Oh, with the eagles. Yeah, I see 3 eagles. And I feel like 2 came in from a direction, like 2 were like this and then 1 like that, and they just kind of like appeared. And I think 1 might have been, well, 2 of them were definitely eagles. But anyway, yes, he was validating his presence, and I feel like you heard and felt a message from him. And yes, that was him. Okay, Colleen. I'm actually going to go to a different deck. So Colleen Shep 17, am I right to say that you're just starting to like step into a spiritual space? You're meditating, you're trying to connect, like you want to know who your guides are. You're starting to be more aware of your energy, how you react to certain situations and circumstances. And I feel like there's some childhood trauma that feels connected to a stepdad. He's still living, but I feel like there were issues there, and I feel like your mom never really like stepped in to help you out with stuff. She just kind of like let things go the way they were. But I feel like that trauma kind of like trickled through life, but I feel like lessons came from it that opened you up spiritually. And I also feel like there was a toxic relationship about a year ago that lasted for about 2 years maybe. And that in itself, I feel like you learned a lot about yourself, and you learned a lot about just like your inner strength. I feel like you really had a rough time with this. I want to say it's a relationship, if that's right. Possibly kind of narcissistic. Oh, real dad. Okay, yeah. Your dad is living though, correct, Colleen? Because he doesn't feel like he's passed. And he feels like a stepdad, which kind of freaks me out, because that tells me the connection has kind of been severed through his behaviors with you as a child. Yeah, he's still living. Okay. The trauma that has just come out. Okay. Yeah. So that to me feels like that has pushed you into an energy of being more spiritual, because it's like you're starting to soul search and start to figure out like what exactly, like it's almost like a why did that even happen? What the hell? Like you're starting to really kind of dig in. So I'm using my spiritual deck. It's the Starseed Oracle. I think this is going to apply to you. Hang on one sec. All right. So there's a mom energy around me. Hang on. I'm over here like, give me some space. There's a mom energy around me. She'll come through in a minute. But okay. So, Colleen, I'm going to draw your card. And we're going to dabble into the spirituality a little bit. Do you have an amethyst around you? An amethyst and a rose quartz, I think? I can see the crystal energy around you. It's an amethyst and rose quartz. Feels like a pendant and I think like a bracelet or something. Opal is all you have. Okay, sweet. Oh, okay. This makes sense. So, the card that came through, I feel like it validates. Loosen your grip. How common is that, right? For just people in general. We don't want to lose anything because loss is scary. Loss means it's getting taken away. Loss means we don't have it anymore. Not true. Loss means we don't need it. It's not serving us and it's draining our energy. Spirit's taking it away. So right now, Spirit's like, let it go. You're hanging on to things that no longer serve you. To me, it feels like old habits. I do feel like there are people in your space that are toxic, and they stay in your space because you allow them to be there per choice of just coming to dump on you. And I feel like the dumping, it's not intentional. They're not mean people that are like, trying to bring you harm. One feels like a friend who just has a lot of drama. I feel like she just always has drama going on. Like it's almost like she looks for it, and she's constantly like, her text messages start out with, "Hey, how's it going?" And you'll go, "I'm good. How are you?" And she'll go, "Oh my God, I got to tell you what happened today. Blah, 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 blah." And so it's like when she asks you how you're doing, that's the doorway to just be like, and like dump all her drama. And I feel like she doesn't mean to, but she doesn't very often ask how you're doing. She'll just tell you everything. And then next thing you know, she's like, you don't hear from her for the rest of the day. That person, I feel like, as you raise up into your spirituality and as you really start to hone in on the positive vibe and start to vibe out, you'll hear from her less and less. She'll kind of self-select out on her own. But like I said, she doesn't feel like a mean person, like she does it deliberately. She's just like in her own storm and negative energy and toxic this and toxic that. She doesn't realize that she's being very like dumpy type. You know what I mean? But the energy in the card of loosen your grip, it's called coping mechanisms, your reality of your destiny, and letting the energy of God, letting it in. So start loosening your grip just on life in general. Things that you don't know, if you don't feel drawn to know more, then let it go. You don't have to know some things. Sometimes just not knowing is okay. And I feel like some of the not knowing is connected to your dad, and I feel like that's okay. I feel like there are certain things it's just better to not know, and it's not because of denial. It's not because it's, something you can't handle. It's just, you don't need to know. It's above your power, or excuse me, you're above it in your power. You'll be giving away your power in trying to dig deep into this. Start soul searching about your purpose and start soul searching in your being, right? And the card brings up coping mechanisms, meaning hanging on to things because you're trying to cope. When you're trying to cope, that's when most that you want to loosen your grip. Because if you're holding on to things that you don't need, all it's doing is making it heavier for you. You know what I mean? It's literally like the only way I can, like the analogy I have of like hanging on to things that don't serve you. Most of anything that happens to us is a lesson, right? Like we learn something. Oh, thank you, Colleen. I'm so glad. So we learn from these lessons, whether it's a tragedy or a trauma, or I guess they're the same really, but you know what I mean? Like an event happens that we have to get through. And while getting through it, we can either get through it and learn, or we can marinate in that energy and just cycle it because we play victim rather than playing, I'm just going to get through this, what the hell. So as you learn from your experiences, you got to let them go as you move forward away from them. When you learn from your experiences and then you carry all that trash with you on your back, it's like going to college and every single thing you learn, every single book you read, you put it in a backpack, you carry it on your back as you go into your career. Like, hey, I got all this knowledge. Here's my books. And you're like weighted down and hunched over. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to carry your lessons. The wisdom is in your mind. It's in your heart. That's all you need. You do not have to carry the energy that created that or that gave you that wisdom. Take the wisdom and move forward and let it go. So this is like loosen your grip. It's going to be okay. So I'm going to go right to the book. Hang on one sec here. So loosen your grip. Again, that's the card. And it says, Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. Just that alone, I love it. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. The food, the substances, the relationship, the job, the people pleasing. That's you. Let that go. Don't feel like you have to please everybody. Don't feel like you have to, give up your power to please somebody. Keep your power to yourself and let people be pleased by how you live, not by what you do for them, if that makes sense. Live in your power. Continue to move in your flow of your energy. Everybody has their own set of guides. Everybody has their own life contract that they are living. So don't feel like you have to please others. They can be pleased in other ways. Let them be pleased by how you live and the choices that you make and how you grow, okay? So let go of the people pleasing. That no longer applies to you. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space. The part we're most afraid to leave empty. The part we guard and don't let grace into. So start letting that in. That's that. Remember we talked about the lack. Start leaving that space. Don't look at it as not having. Look at it as something coming. Okay. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us, or clinging to it for the fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. Whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. Tattoo worthy material right there. So whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. Okay. So that's your reading. I feel like that super very much resonates. The card, loosen your grip. I feel like you should take a screenshot of this. Let me try and get it without my nasty grown out acrylic fingernails. And then you can take a screenshot of that. I feel like you need to make this a wallpaper on your phone and hang on to that message until you feel like it's lived its cycle. Because a lot of times too with oracle cards and tarot cards, sometimes the message is only good for like the day, and like by the end of the day you feel like you lived the cycle, and sometimes they last for a year. I have an oracle card, I'm still living that message. I pulled that sucker like 9 months ago and I'm still like, I'm working on it. So sometimes it's one day, and this one I feel like is going to be about 3 to 6 months as you transition and shift in the situation around your dad. I feel like that's going to shift and change you, because I feel like everything about, to me, it feels like everything about your childhood just went clink and shifted. And that's okay. Adapt, shift, and grow through it, okay? You are so welcome. Thank you for being on here, by the way, too. I appreciate it, Colleen. PC83. So oracle cards, they're more of like a freewheeling. It's kind of hard to explain, but oracle cards, the pictures kind of have the message. You read them more intuitively. They're more of like an open, free type reading where you just kind of go with what comes to you as far as the message. You use more intuition to read from them. So like sometimes I'll pull up a card and I'll just look at it like this one, for example, like there's a doorway. So I might be like, whoa, a person has opportunity coming, and I'll like pull out the colors that resonate to something. And tarot cards, they have actual like structure. So like the 7 of Cups, there's different what they call arcanas. So each one resonates with a specific energy. So when you pull that particular card, you just know the energy in that actual, like whether it's a 6 of Cups or swords or, you know, whatever, that particular energy is already like placed in the meaning of that type of card, where these ones, the meaning comes from using your intuition based on what are in the pictures, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's a mom energy. Blonde hair. She was 60s. It feels like it was either COPD or breast cancer. There was illness in the chest. Huh. She was really pretty when she was young. Long blonde, curly hair. Kind of quiet towards the end. And there's a daughter out there that she is saying thank you for taking such good care of her towards the end. But I do feel like there were still some issues, like underlying issues of the like connection of mother to daughter. And I think earlier in life, she wasn't as present in the daughter's life as she should have been. And I think her illness kind of put like a hustle on making amends of issues from childhood. I think at one point she kind of was crossing the line a little bit with alcoholism, and I feel like she was taking antidepressants maybe and some painkillers. And the painkillers feel connected to, well, so it feels almost like a fibromyalgia / arthritis. And then there were other illnesses, but I truly feel like they were trauma. Jessie 1011, does that sound like your mom? She is saying someone's birthday's coming up. May. Something about May. She is also saying, don't worry, you can let it go. Oh, your dad's birthday's in May? Oh my God. Okay. Hang on a second, because she's been around me for like almost the whole thing of this reading or this live. So I got to let her through. So there's something about what looks like sunflowers. And she is wanting you to know what I'm hearing. And she speaks kind of not matter of fact, but she just has like a flow. Like she's really articulate. And she's like, I never meant it. I never meant to hurt you. I didn't mean it. And it feels to me like she never really learned how to be a mom. She kind of had to teach herself. So in the process of her, like, basically teaching herself how to be a mom, she made a lot of really bad mistakes and bad choices that hurt you as a child. And she's like, I didn't mean it. I did not know what I was doing. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. And so she's now wanting to let you know that it's okay. So this is really getting emotional, because she's saying it's okay to feel the way you felt when I died, because I would have been just as upset, or no, I would have been just as confused. But I want you to know, that I completely understand, and it's okay. And then she's like, I'll see you soon. She's going to see you. Like when you pass, she'll be there for you. And then she's saying something about the birthday in May, which you'd said is your dad's. And she's kind of making a joke about the cake. And I feel like somewhere in the past, there was something with the cake like being dropped, but it was like a really funny event. There's something about cake, and she's kind of laughing, and she's like, don't drop the cake. So thank you for the hearts. I'm assuming that resonates. Oh, it's the candles. Okay. Oh, you did have a joke. Oh, awesome. Okay. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay. So she's with you now. And now she's like, I'm going to take care of you now. So I feel like you're going to see dimes. And there's something else. A random heart-shaped object. Have you been seeing like random, like if like let's say you're pouring your coffee and that you drip cream, it's going to be in the shape of a heart. Like coincidence? She's showing me like a ton of hearts. And I think that's going to be like where you'll know that's her and that she's with you. There's going to be signs. Yeah. All sorts of signs. But I feel like the random heart shapes are going to be like her basically like giving you a hug. Because she really wants to now be there and like guide you. And hello from Michigan. I'm in Michigan as well. So welcome. So yeah, Jess, that's your mom. And I'm glad she came through. I'm glad you were here. That was really beautiful because she's been like, it's been like this. it goes like this. Like I was talking to Colleen and doing my thing, and she's like this. Are you ready yet? Are you ready? And I kept hearing that, or she'd go, hey, excuse me. And I was like, yes, okay, come through. So it was kind of beautiful how she did that. Okay. Yeah, you're very welcome, Jess. Thank you for validating. I'm so happy. That was amazing how that just kind of came through. All right, I'm going to go through these messages real quick. Again, thank you everyone for being on here. I really appreciate it. And again, if I don't get a card to you or get a reading to you, just reach out to me at my Facebook, Define Your Glow. I do medical medium readings, Reiki, energy readings, all kinds of things. I do oracle readings with cards. My medical medium readings, I will tell you, are the most detailed. You will learn everything about your energy, symptoms in the physical body, illnesses, all kinds of things. Sometimes family members come through that are past because your illness is attached to their trauma. It's amazing. So if ever you want to get into that, just let me know. All right. So let me go ahead and draw a card. So Darcy, I can't read it because of my shirt. Darcy Tail. Darcy something Tail. I can't read. Darcy does Tail. Veterans, your grandfather just passed. I'm going to try to get him to come through. Hang on one sec. Because veterans always come through really clear because they have like the strongest energy because they're a veteran. And they almost always have someone waiting for them on the other side when they pass because they make such a strong bond in the military. So hold on, Darcy. I'm going to try and catch him. I'm going to try and catch his vibe. If this is who I'm feeling, he does feel like he was 77. And it does feel connected to the heart, but not like a heart attack, bam, gone. It was like heart issues that escalated, but it also feels like, I think he might have been diabetic because his kidneys feel really weak. Like illness in the whole lower abdomen, like in his intestines, his his intestines in the lower abdomen, but then also his kidneys, like sharp pain. And then the chest feels almost like a COPD, actually. I think that's what I'm feeling. And his breathing was like real shallow, like he could never actually take like a full breath. And he's got what looks like Agent Orange scars on his arms, like real bad. Like there's like the sunspots and stuff, but there's like white. It almost looks like a spray bottle, like with like bleach, and it's just like white spots. It almost feels like it's from Agent Orange. He couldn't breathe. Okay. Oh, congestive heart failure. Okay, thank you. So he's here. Hang on a minute. So he had the congestive heart failure. It does. Okay, so to me, I don't know how much you know about him, but the Army, he is saying, was an escape because his childhood was so rough. He, like, the second he was of age, he joined the military and off he went. And I feel like the military to him was family to him. That was like his family. And he did have a lot of PTSD from the military. However, as a grandpa, he feels like he was a very sweet, very kind, just very sweet man. Like he was a little rough on the edges, but I do feel like he had a really good sense of humor. I can tell earlier in life, like outside of the military, he was a drinker, chain smoker. But I can tell he enjoyed laughing, and he just enjoyed being with family and friends. He was like, the simple things made him happy. He wasn't flashy, anything like that. It was, he told jokes everywhere. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Like he actually, I used to be a bank manager before I did this, and I swear to God, it reminds me, he is like on exactly like one of my clients who was in the military, and he would come in, and I'll just describe what I'm seeing because it looks so much like my client. It's crazy. He wears, so his jacket he wears is kind of a, not fuller jacket, but it almost looks like a bomber jacket, but not as puffy. And he's like this, and he kind of like hunches over, and he always wears a hat, and I'm assuming it's a veteran's hat, and he just like walks around, and he's like super nice and hello to whoever he sees, and he's always got like a joke, or if someone complains about something, he'll make a joke about it to cheer him up. And I do feel like as a patient, they loved the guy. Like they thought he was a really good guy. And he's mentioning something about I want to say did he used to flirt with the nurses? He's making a joke about, I had all the ladies. And I'm thinking it's the nurses, and he's joking about all the ladies. And he's definitely with the family, because I feel like his passing kind of hit home. He did. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, because he literally, this is what I saw. Like, first he showed me like how he holds himself, and then he went like this. I had all the ladies. And he was like this, he's like this little old man, like, I had all the ladies. And I'm just like, oh my God, he is so my people. So that's him. Like he totally loved the nurses and how well they treated him. And he was like that dream patient. Like whatever they told him to do, he did it. And it was, oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy this is resonating. That's amazing. So yeah, he is with you 100%. Like he's like excited. He's like, and tell her this and show her this and show her that. So he's like going down a list. So the other thing he's showing me is when it got close to his time, the nurses, I feel like, kind of gathered around him to say farewell, which that to me melts my heart, because usually it's like, you know, they're out doing their thing. And I feel like when he got close, they literally stopped what they were doing and went into the room to be with him. And I can tell, like at his funeral and his passing, there was so much love around him. And I think that's why he came through so easy, because he was surrounded by love when he passed. And just for those of you watching, when people pass, the more love energy they have around them, it doesn't have to be the person physically there, just the love energy, whether it's the person's at a distance and they're thinking of them, however their love energy is around them, that helps them cross over, and it helps them cross over easier. So when people are close to passing, surround them in love. Like let family members, let friends know, so they can love them even if it's from a distance, and love them to the other side. And I feel like that's what happened with him, because he just like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to tap into that, and he was like, hey, like just kind of like came right in, like, hey lady. I guess literally what I heard. It was like, hey lady. And he just seems so sweet. I don't know if you can validate this, but he is showing me two men. One feels like a brother, and the other one feels like a best friend, but he's calling them his brothers. And the one brother, that's actually the COPD I'm feeling. And that actually feels related to the military. This guy feels like he got dinged with something in the military. His chest is just filled with illness. Like, I feel like the first person he's showing me, I feel like he passed really young. Like, I don't even think he was 65. He was in his 60s. And the second one, that one feels like the brother. And he feels like he passed, I want to say like late, like 69 or 70. But they were with him. Like, they were waiting when he passed. So he had like people waiting. He had people around him. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, he's definitely in your space. His uncle passed at 67. Okay. I didn't think he would live past that. Oh, wow. Okay. K Marie 0228. Yes, I do. And if I don't get to you guys tonight, feel free to message me at my Facebook page. It's Define Your Glow. I can do medium reading, medical medium reading, energy reading, whatever you guys need. And feel free to tag friends and share this live. The more the merrier. Hey, A-Jobs, how you doing? And thank you so much, everyone, for the roses and all the things coming through. I appreciate that. And it says tips going for the live. I don't even know what that means. But thank you. I don't know. All I know on TikTok is you click the little plus sign and it says go live. And I'm like, okay. I've been on TikTok since June. I still don't know how to use it. It's terrible. Okay, so actually, C-dubs. Yeah, thank you so much, Darcy. I really appreciate that coming through. I'm so glad you said something. That was so beautiful. So C-dubs, something's up with your health. So C-dubs, let me know if this resonates. In your neck and your jaw, like right here, that muscle is really tight. Like you don't have full rotation in your neck. You clench your teeth really hard. Like I feel like you're even grinding down your molars. I sometimes feel like your glands just feel swollen for no reason. Like you think you're getting a cold or something and your glands are swollen and then it goes away. And I think it's your right shoulder in the joint. There's like a kink. So like if you were to do like a bench press and push up, it would kink. So there's that energy. And I feel like down, like almost down the middle of your spine throughout the back, there's pain. This all feels trauma related. Let me know if this is resonating. Oh, right? Like busted. Oh no, I don't clench my teeth at all. Nope. That's awesome. You went. Yeah, I could feel it. I was like, all right, dubs, we're talking. Because I can tell it actually is trauma related. But I gotta tell you, I feel like you've really come to peace with a lot of the things that have went on. I do feel like there's some toxic family members, and I do feel like the family tends to fight a lot. Like I feel like you have a big family, and they all kind of bicker. Like they're always like, make one guilty and the other's guilty and they're pointing fingers. And right now I feel like they're fighting, which it feels like a brother and I think a wife, or there's a relationship there and they're having issues and everyone's fighting and bickering and you're like off to the side, like kind of trying to stay out of it, and they try to pull you in because I think you're the peacekeeper. You're like the one that everybody wants you to take their side, because I feel like you're the one with the most logical comments, you know what I mean? Like when you get involved, you're the one that makes sense and like gets people to shut up, and like you can keep the peace. Yep, right? I totally can feel it. I can totally feel it. And so right now I can tell you, with what's going on in your family, just back away, because it's like the whole not your circus. That's just not your circus. And I think you've done enough in keeping the peace, because I feel like they're constantly bickering. Like if you were to go in and sort everything out and get everybody to stop fighting and get along, literally the very next day they would have something else to fight about and they would just start back over. So don't put too much energy into it. Try to stay out of it and stay neutral. I can tell your mom is definitely like pulling on the heartstrings a little bit with this and wanting you to help keep peace within the family so that her kids aren't fighting, but just stay neutral. And the energy through that is definitely, in your neck and you're clenching your jaw and all that. Start like in the morning, kind of tip like this and get that neck stretched and take really big deep breaths, because that'll help. Just the breathing alone will help loosen that neck energy. So like when your head's down like that, come back up, take a deep breath and like tip to the side and get that neck to loosen up so you can kind of like open that throat chakra back up. Because what's tightening is because you're like not saying anything, which is good because you're not getting involved, but it's block energy starting to block up in your throat because it's, you know what I mean? So yeah, it feels good, right? So yeah, quick little medical media reading for you. Like, yeah, you're free to like kind of just sever yourself and let that do what it needs to do. But yeah, with the neck, just deep breaths and just kind of release. I can tell there's more going on, but I would need to like sit in my space and do a full reading. But I think for the most part, what's happening right now is connected to the family and the toxic issues and stuff. So if you can at least separate yourself from that and like stretch the neck and take deep breaths. Also work on sleep patterns. I can tell you either sleep like the dead or you don't sleep at all. And the hard part is if you sleep like the dead, you wake up and you feel like crap. And if you don't sleep at all, you wake up and you just feel tired. So try to start working on the sleep patterns. And I think you're drinking a lot of energy drinks. It feels like, I don't want to say Red Bull, but is it Bang? Are you drinking Bangs? You know, the Bang energy drinks? That's what I'm feeling. And I feel like they're working because I don't think you sleep very well. Oh, your coffee. Okay, yeah. So maybe like make your last cup be at 3 o'clock or something. Because I think you're drinking it too close to nighttime and sometimes it's infecting your sleep. Okay, whoops. Sorry, I'm just going through the comments. But yeah, so C-dubs. Good stuff right there. So thank you for that. That was awesome. Hey, Gypsy Love in Wisconsin. Thanks for being here. I actually feel like you need a card, Gypsy Love. You immediately drew to me in your heart chakra energy. Hang on a second. So Gypsy Love, with your heart energy, there's healing taking place. It's a surrendering and a healing, and it's a true surrender. Not like, oh, I've surrendered that, and then you're like flipping them off as you walk away. You literally have come to peace with stuff on the heart energy, and so now you're shifting into a different type of awareness. Let me think for a second. So it's heart energy. It was a broken heart. I feel like there's a few different things. There's also disappointment. Like the person really disappointed you. Like you set a standard and you had expectations and they didn't come through. So there's like disappointment on there, but I feel like the spiritual shift in you is coming because you came to peace with it and you just opened up the channel of forgiveness. So it's like you kind of just loved them and left them where they were at. You know, the whole like love them and leave them, love them where they're at. I feel like that's kind of what you did. Which is good. Thank you, Glow C3. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, you guys, for the props. I appreciate it. But yeah, so as your heart is healing, I feel like messages are coming through, but your Gypsy Love, yes, thank you. Messages are starting to come through from a female guide. And I feel kind of cliche saying this, but it does feel like a grandmother. And she feels like wise beyond her years. There's also do you have an aunt in spirit who passed really early? She feels like she passed really young. I'm kind of taking a guess, but I think it was cancer. And it feels like an aunt. She's young. She's really young, like 40s. Yeah, you did. Okay, so she's with you. And I feel like her passing is part of the heart, like the heart energy that I'm feeling. She's totally with you. Like, she's totally with you. So I'll draw a card in a second, but let me connect to her because her vibe's kind of low. I can tell there was like hospice or something. Like towards the end, it feels like hospice and like morphine type feeling in her veins. So like there was no pain. She is showing me scenery. It looks like random scenery. I think that was a thing with you guys, was scenery. And she's showing me what almost looks like a valley, and there's like mountains, like snow-capped mountains off in the distance, and I think it's a road. And like, as you drive along this road, as you come up around a curve, it like opens up to like really pretty scenery. And she's showing me that. And it just looks really beautiful. And I'm not sure if it's like symbolic, but she's showing me, and it is really beautiful. And then your grandmother feels like she's like behind her, like they're both with you, but I feel like your aunt is the one who kind of like shines the light on your path so you can see where you're going. And your grandma, her energy would come through, and not literally, but like a whisper. Like if you were to get a message from her, it would be a very subtle hint. Stage 4 cancer. Oh, excuse me. It would be like a subtle hint, just like it'd be like a whisper. And I feel like that's your grandma. And I feel like because that's how she was in life, she just said what she needed to say, and then she went about her business, and she was very subtle. She didn't force like her opinions or force her thoughts, anything like that. It just was a very subtle. So I'm going to draw a card for you to resonate with the heart energy, not just in healing, but in kind of like awakening into this space, okay? Okay. Oh, I got to reshuffle. That's the same card I drew before. Hang on. I accidentally grabbed the card. It was stuck to the... Let me shuffle these a little bit better. Because I want to resonate with the... heart space. I feel like your card is in these ones that are sticking together. Yep, that's your card right there. Okay. So here's your card. I haven't seen a comment come through, so I apologize. I know we validated that it was your aunt, and we validated some stuff, but I haven't seen a comment come through. But definitely let me know if this resonates, okay? Cracked open. Okay. I feel like this definitely resonates because we had just talked about like how you were coming out of like healing the heart. Gypsy love, thank you. Yeah. How you were like coming out of that space and walking into a space of healing. So this card I feel like resonates, and the card is cracked open. And I love this card because it's about coming into your truth. You're at, like it says at the card, rock bottom. Like you've hit rock bottom and surrender to the alchemy of life. That's it. And that's where I feel like those lessons that you've lived through, those things that shifted the energy in your heart and put you in a space of just having compassion and healing of yourself, you've been cracked open and you're spiritually starting to come up to surface and be in that space. So that's definitely resonates. And this is where your aunt is going to kind of help keep you on track. Your grandma's going to help just kind of give you little whispers and little hints. But I'll read right from the card. Cracked open. So the cracked open card. Don't let the weight and destiny of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body at the center front of your life. It's through the extreme pressures of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It is when things are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. This is a beautiful card. Let your pain, your sorrow, and your losses make you, not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be open with being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways we could only dream were possible. But first they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell, It's nature's way. Whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process. It's how the light gets in. That's a beautiful card. Damn, this is a great card. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. So how beautiful is that? That your soul is fully entering your space, right? That's so beautiful. So when your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, your losses transform you into a more and more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies, your losses, and your sorrows and your hurt happened to you, happened for you, but not to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open. Send it blessings, because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Now, there's a journal question on here that definitely give it a try. How can you let your life crack open? So something to consider. But I love this card. That's a beautiful card. So here's your card for you. Cracked open. So feel free to take a screenshot of that and keep that with you until you feel like that message has fully cycled through. Yeah, you're so welcome, Gypsy Love. I'm sorry for so much that you've went through, but I think it's beautiful how you're using it to transition and to kind of recreate your life. It's really beautiful. And for those of you who are listening, if I haven't gotten to you yet for a reading, feel free to message me. I don't do the short, answer one question or 15-minute readings. My readings average between an hour to an hour and a half. I do have a reading that lasts 2 hours, and we do everything. We cover everything. You leave just with everything you could possibly want to know about yourself. And those sessions are dingers. So message me at my Facebook to find your glow. I can do medium readings. I can help connect to a loved one. Energy readings. We can look at your energy, see what's going on. I do medical medium readings where I read your energy and I also read your physical body. And we tie the two together to figure out what traumas are causing illnesses and what illnesses are caused by the trauma. And we kind of make sense of all of it on the physical and the energy and the spiritual. Okay. I'm going on. I saw please, where'd that person go? Whoops. Yeah, Wendy Bryan 262. MBOSC, definitely in the middle of a spiritual awakening. I can feel it. As soon as I saw your message, my heart was like pressure from the emotional, energy of the divine love, not just love, relationships or, oh, I love you so much, that powerful substance of love. So the intense emotions, that to me feels like empath, but in a sense of more awareness. Not empath in you walk into a room and suddenly you're depressed, but empath is in you can look at someone and be ooh, bad juju, or you can look at someone and be oh, they're really cool, and before you even talk to anybody, who the good people are in the room and who the bad people are. But what happens is when you are around the bad people, even if you're not talking to them, they could be standing behind you, you're you can feel it and it drains you. And the intense emotions are usually their emotions, and you're feeling them times 10, because they're literally, you're pulling them away, them meaning their emotions. And the sleeping, I feel you just tip over and crash and you're out. It almost is you're sleeping too heavy. Start washing your hands with cold water and salt scrub. Get outside and take some deep breaths before you go to bed. You feel polluted. I think you have a really toxic work environment. Now that I think about it, your work environment's really toxic. And I think you're pulling in a lot of those toxins. And it's not you're necessarily bringing the drama from work home, but you're bringing the energy from work home. And so there's all these toxins on you that don't even feel like they're yours. One of them feels like a guy, and he feels all ego, like, hey ladies, like he struts around, but he's like super toxic because I feel like he's just always causing problems. And then there's another one who feels really micromanagey, like she wants to be the one that's perfect at her job, and she's running around telling everybody how to do everything, but she's also the one that doesn't know anything. So it's really frustrating because she's like trying to micromanage. And then there's you, who you do your job, you do it well. I feel like you're the one that kind of knows what they're doing. And so people tend to like try to dump their job on you. So I think it's your work. That's where a lot of the toxins are coming in. So yeah, at night, like get some fresh air, go outside, get some air. Cause I feel like when you come home, you just walk into the door and you go right to the couch and just tip over. Take time to get some fresh air and start rinsing your hands with cold water and splashing cold water on your face. I think that'll help. But I'm pretty sure it's work. Okay. So what crystal is good for connecting to my spirit guides? Susanna 236111. Crystals for connecting to spirit guides. As you're beginning with crystals, start with clear quartz and amethyst. As you get more experienced, you can do like celestial quartz. A super 7 is really good for connecting. Super 7's one of my favorites. Now, shamanic healing quartz, that tends to have a variety of different uses. I use mine to connect to my guides. Like, whoa, that's got such a good energy to it. Like this is a shamanic healing quartz, and it's actually, it's hard to see on the camera, but it has like the earth elements in it. So it's got a lot of earth energy for connecting and healing. Like this one's got like actual like moss inclusions, like, and there's phantoms. Also, I teach crystal classes, so if ever you guys want to take a crystal class, just let me know. I do private and groups, but the phantoms in this, which are what looks like the flat pieces that catch the light, those are where like they'll say like the messages of your guides are at. Like if you really just meditate and look at them and kind of open up to receive messages, they'll come through. But this is a regular clear quartz that you can use to connect to your guides and see all the phantoms. This is a really good, really high frequency clear quartz. An amethyst is another one. This is an amethyst point I have. Amethyst is really good for connecting. And amethyst, again, I use this for everything. I don't just limit myself to connecting to guides. If I'm drawn to an amethyst, I'll usually meditate. I'll use it for healing in my Reiki sessions. But the Super 7, that's what this looks like. And this is a combination of 7 different crystals. Don't ask me what they are, though. I know what they are, but I can't remember. I know one is, part of it's, I want to say it's labradorite and amethyst, but I can't remember the other ones. But this is a Super 7. It's got everything in it. It's a combination, like a crossbreed of 7 different crystals. This you could use to connect to your guides as well. And the other thing with connecting with your guides, just ask and let them know you're ready to hear them. You're ready to feel their presence. Feel free to tap into your ancestral line and just be like, I'm ready to hear you. I'm ready to receive these messages. I'm open. And you'll start to hear them and feel them, and pay attention to the subtle stuff, because they tend to be like they just kind of say their piece and then they wait for you to choose to listen or be like, I want another sign. We always want more signs, right? And Wendy Bryan 262, thank you. I was waiting to find you. I appreciate that. Hi, I'm here. So I got you, girl. I'm drawing a card for you. Hang on. Nope. This isn't the deck for you. One sec. Because you have a really heavy energy, in a sense of, it's almost like you've dispersed too much love to too many people in a short period of time in hopes of almost just like, it's not like you did it because you wanted to like, why the hell did you do that? You like just were like giving out all this love and all this energy and like surrendering so much of yourself to just keep peace. And now here you are, you're drained and you have no sense of direction. I really feel like you've lost in all this. Oh yeah. Okay. So here we are. So what you've been doing for the last, God, it almost feels like it's been a couple years. You've been helping everybody. Like, hey, Wendy, can you do this? Yes. Do you mean to do that too? Because I'll do that too. And I'll do this and I'll do that. You've been helping way too many people, but it's been an avoidance of self because there's something within you that you need to just switch it off and be done with it. You know what it is and you are not ready to do it. So what you're doing instead is helping everybody you know and everything you know to avoid healing and avoid coming to terms with what you need to, I don't want to say fix, but what you need to shift and remove and surrender so that you can move forward on your path. Because I feel like it was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, your attention was needed and elsewhere, but it was supposed to be short term. It feels like something with your mom, but I think what ended up happening is that stepping away from yourself and stepping away from you became, instead of it being something short term, it became a lifestyle. And now, years later, you have forgotten what you were even doing for yourself. Now you've lost your sense of direction, but you also have lost a few people in your space because of situations and circumstances that just weren't in your control. And so now here you are, you're kind of lacking in direction, which is okay. We all go through it. We all pour ourselves too much into one thing. And then it's like, we get through it and we're like, oh my God, now what do we do with ourselves? So you kind of feel like this, like, well, now what do I do? Like you help resolve the situation, but now you're like, well, dang, now what do I do? So let me shuffle some cards. I'm going to go into these cards are really deep and the readings tend to be longer. So I'm just going to get right into this. Oh, Wendy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. So that makes sense then, because it's been like an ongoing cycle of things. Okay. And again, thank you guys for the likes and the tips and the flowers and the hearts and stuff. I really appreciate it. And again, if I don't get to you, you can just message me at my Facebook page at Define Your Glow. And then, of course, I'll discount your reading for you. So those of you that are here, I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. So, Wendy, we're going to set the intent to just have messages come through. I feel like just to shine the light on your path. You've actually lost a lot of people in your family. Am I correct in that? And Wendy, I don't mean to be too personal, but did you have a miscarriage? There's trauma in your sacral area, which is like the maternal organs, the ovaries and all that. And it feels like a miscarriage. And I feel like that's some of what has thrown you like out of focus a little bit because you're still trying to like heal from that. And there's a lot of family members around you. There's like what I think is a cousin. It's a male energy. He feels like he's a cousin. There's an uncle. I think it's your mom's sister. There's like a lot of people. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to light some Palo Santo and send the energy of this into your space just to kind of help cleanse. Yeah, there's definitely spiritual entities around you and energy. I can tell you feel them. One of them is saying that they're with you when you sleep. Your dad's dad, yes, a lot. Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of people around you. I'm over here with my like Palo Santo, like, damn girl. So is it your dad's side that has a lot of male energy? Like it feels like it's mostly men, and a lot of them have passed. Oh, and your dad passed. Oh, it's your dad. It's totally your dad. Okay. Because he's saying he watches you when you sleep. And it's almost like that's what he did when you were little. Like he was that dad that like adored his daughter, and he would watch you when you slept. And that's what derailed you. And that's why it was issues with your mom. Okay. So it's him and his brother. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm so sorry. So your dad is with you. I'm not connecting on like a communication level, but he's showing me that he watches you when you sleep. He's also showing me what looks like when you were little, and he would like pat your head and like joke with you and do that, like make your head bob around and joke about being like bobbing head. And he used to like do this, like pull on your pigtail. That's your uncle. Okay. Yeah, and would he like pull on your pigtail and go, hey kiddo, and pull on your pigtail? Yeah, your curls. Okay, yeah. And he would just be like, dirt, dirt. So I will be honest and tell you, I'm not sure who is who, but your dad and your uncle are both with you. And I feel like in life, your dad and your uncle, his brother, were like really close in life. Like they were really close in life. Yes. Okay. And now they're with you. And I'm so sorry that I was so busy just scanning through your energy. I was like, oh yeah, you and your mom went through something and it was your dad's passing. So I apologize. I didn't mean to be insensitive. I just wasn't connecting. And then when the two men came through, I was like, oh, they're here. So, okay. Sorry about that. But thank you for validating. I appreciate that. So let's get you back on track. Yes, I do read energy, so thank you so much. If I don't get to you tonight, just message me at Define Your Glow on my Facebook. Yes, I do read energy, so thank you so much. If I don't get to you tonight, just message me at Define Your Glow on my Facebook. I'll discount your service for you. Okay, Wendy. Oh, wow. So let me get the book out. I've actually not drawn this card before. I'm so excited right now. Let me... Hang on one second. So the card I drew for you has a lot of fire in it. And the fire energy, of course, is the feminine energy. So the card is called Passion of the Red Mother. And this looks to me... There's actually a lot going on in this card. And I feel like the last card about hitting rock bottom, to me, it feels... Here it's like you're just coming out of the flames. Yes, I am familiar with Reiki therapy. I actually teach it. I'm a master Reiki healer in Yasui and Kundalini Reiki, and I do have courses in it. I freaking love Reiki. I use it for everything. So Wendy, here's your card. Passion of the Wild Red Mother. And I'm actually just going to read right from the book. You feel like you're going in them, yes. And thank you for the capitals, letters, that helps to see your messages. Thank you for doing that. So you're going to come into a healing. This card says, don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. So it's almost about like finding your joy. BBOP with your fibromyalgia question, stick around. I'll answer that in just a sec. So this card is saying this oracle is bringing you guidance. You have divine permission to do something ridiculous. Okay? Be it ridiculous in your own mind for your age or your career path, or some identity or version of yourself, or something you hold. The more ridiculous and inappropriate it seems, the more it moves you into the space of your heart without rhyme or reason. So you're really being guided to just strip yourself of responsibility and just embrace your joy. Doing something ridiculous, absolutely. I feel like you've been doing too much for others. Remember, I just talked about that too, how you've been doing too much for others, and it's taken you off focus of yourself, and you've been doing so much that you've now are at a point in your life where you haven't thought about what you want in a really long time. And not only that, but you haven't thought about not only what you want, but where you're going. Like, you've just been pouring yourself into all these situations for obvious reasons. I mean, it's all very sad, very, very heavy situations and circumstances. But I think it's time to step away a little bit and give yourself time to breathe and give yourself time to reset, and get yourself out of that like fight or flight energy and that survival energy, and just start embracing yourself again and start connecting to your energy. This card says this, it is not about a childish indulgent or a questionable justification for letting the ego misbehave. The wild red, this guidance is about listening to the truth of your heart and allowing your soul to throb with aliveness, making them more important than any restriction, opinion, judgment, or fear of the mind, be all of yours that others can summon. So just really be in your space, and just, so the fire and the flames is just like releasing and letting go and just coming back into your space, and just like, yeah, do something ridiculous. Binge watch Netflix, read books all day. Like, do something that literally is only about yourself. Shut off your phone, play some music, and just retreat and heal. Because it's going to get into a situation where if you continue in this path, these toxic energies, it'll eventually manifest into illness. And in 10 years, you'll have fibromyalgia, or you'll have arthritis. You know what I mean? You'll have chronic migraines, chronic fatigue. There's illnesses that will come to you if you don't allow yourself to step away from this energy. We all deserve a break. You know what I mean? So that's your card. Passion of the Wild Red Mother, okay? Go be crazy. Go release. And if you need a full reading, let me know. I'll definitely discount your service for you. But I feel like you need a medical reading to just kind of check and see where your energy's at, but also check and see what your physical body's doing from the stresses. And I really feel like I could connect to your uncle and your dad, and it would literally be like we were all sitting at the table together having a conversation. Your dad and your uncle are so present. They look like one person. And they're 100% with you. Okay. And then someone on here, and Wendy, message me. Okay. At Define Your Glow. I'll work with you on pricing too, because the session you need is expensive. But don't worry, you're not going to pay what I charge. I really want to connect to your dad and see what he has to say. So just message me. We'll figure something out. You're getting everything. We're going to do Reiki. We're going to do some, we're going to connect to people. We're going to do medical things. I'm going to draw some cards. Seriously, plan about an hour and a half at least. And then someone on here had asked about fibromyalgia. So this is where I haven't been dinged for it yet by anybody in the medical profession, but I will tell you from my own experience. Yeah, Wendy, definitely give me a shout. I really would love to hear from you, for sure. So with fibromyalgia, I will just say from my own experience, I've dealt with fibromyalgia a lot. I see clients, I can say several a week that have fibromyalgia, and there's not a single one that didn't have some sort of detrimental trauma. I truly feel fibromyalgia is not even an illness or a disease. It is legit trauma that is transitioned itself into a physical energy that flows through the body on a physical level and creates pain because the person hasn't released or let go of the trauma. So people with fibromyalgia are, well, for career, it's social workers. I'm not even kidding. Almost every single social worker I've worked with has fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis, or they've had cancer and they survived. And then, of course, like chronic migraines and stuff like that. But social workers for sure. People that have come to me that had fibromyalgia, the consistent trauma is physical abuse from either parent, verbal abuse, long-term narcissistic marriages that were abusive with narcissistic or sociopath behaviors. Fibromyalgia, I have seen in people that had one or both parents that has severe mental illness or addiction issues. I really truly feel like fibromyalgia starts in a person as an energy or because of their traumatic childhood that eventually it continues to follow them through life, and it becomes an illness of fibromyalgia. Rheumatoid arthritis, I feel like that can go both ways. And of course, diet. If you don't eat right, you don't sleep, and you don't take care of yourself, your body's going to crumble. So that in itself is traumatic, in my opinion. If you really let your body go to, you don't take care of yourself and do what you need to do to feel good physically, it does make it easier for energy to pollute you and turn into illness, because unhealthy habits are traumatic physically to the body. But one thing to keep in mind is toxic energy and low vibrational energy flow to the weakest part of the body. They also flow to the chakra where that resonates with whatever, like sexual abuse is the sacral chakra. So that's going to be your area of sexual organs. So people that were molested or sexual abuse, the women usually get ovarian cancer. They have cysts, inconsistent periods. Men, they'll have testicular cancer and things like that, depending on the severity of the sexual abuse. So it goes to that chakra, but it also can sometimes go to the weaker part of the body. So like if someone has back pain and it's connected to a trauma, but they also have a weak back, maybe they hurt their back years ago, and so now those muscles aren't necessarily right, or maybe the discs aren't set right. The trauma of that negative energy is just going to go right to that area, so the back pain becomes even worse. So just a few random thoughts out there on energy and how it can totally destroy our body if we don't take care of ourselves. So I'll preach on my next thing while you guys are on here, and thank you so much for being on here. Take time to take care of yourself, you guys. Really, you don't have to eat salads and be vegan and plant-based and eat kale and all, whatever, but you do need to get sleep and water and consistent eating. It is so important to take time for yourself. It is really, if you can't take time in your day, even if it's 5 minutes, to just step away, that's an issue, because you really should be taking time every day to just stop and take breaths. And trust me, I'm not trying to preach. I was a bank manager, and I worked in the most shittiest toxic environment you could possibly imagine. I was pounding coffee. I was eating Subway every day because I didn't have time to eat. I was eating on the fly. I was sleeping in my suit. I would come home. I'd go pick up my kids from school. Hey, boys, let's have dinner. I'd walk around the house in my suit with my, shirt unbuttoned at the collar, and I would tip over. I'd go to sleep at night with my freaking suit on. I didn't have time to put on sweatpants. Really? So I get it with our crazy toxic way of living and just getting through life, but really take time to reset yourself and just create something, even if it's just one thing in a day, that is healthy in a sense that it makes you feel good, in a sense that it's not something toxic like smoking or doing drugs, like something that truly is healthy. Yeah, there, girl. That brings a good energy into your space. You know what I mean? Oh, Wendy, go ahead to my Facebook and message me on Facebook, because I think I get blocked on TikTok, but go to my Facebook. It's Define Your Glow, and you can message me there. And thank you so much, Cindy Doxtator. I appreciate that. And Wendy, if anything, I'll follow you back, and then you can message me. But you can go to my Facebook, Define Your Glow, and you can message me there. So Emanuela, in October last year, woke up choking in my sleep. Was it my dad who woke me up at 4:44? This is about going to make me cry because my dad passed in November and his number was 444. So my own feelings set aside, looking into this, 100% it was your dad that woke you up. I don't know if I can connect to him. I've done so many readings. But I know 100% it was him because the 444 number means your angels are with you. And I have some really cool 444 stories of my dad. Oh my God. It is such a profound number. And it is a number that your angels are with you. And I really do feel like that was him. Without even thinking about it. I kind of want him to connect. I'm over here like, please. But I have no reception left. He could walk into the door and I don't know if I would feel him. So yeah. Okay, so with that, you guys, I just realized I've been on here for a really long time, so that makes sense why my signal's shutting down. But again, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to comment on this live. I think it posts to my TikTok. But if you would like a reading, I didn't get to you tonight. I do discount my readings for my TikTok followers. So feel free to message me at my Facebook page, Define Your Glow. If you're interested in taking a Reiki course or getting certified in the practice, let me know. I do teach it. I'm a master certified Reiki in Yasui and Kundalini. Medium readings. I offer mediumship readings. I also do medical medium readings where I look at the physical body. And I'm pausing because I feel like I'm not supposed to leave. Someone here needs something. Shit, I guess I'm not going. Hang on. Oh, it's Claudia. Hey, Claudia. Is it Claudian? HADC? I have had all three. Rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, and cancer. Okay. Abuse. A lot of abuse. And to me, it feels like the ages of 8 to 12. Real bad abuse. And then also a narcissistic relationship. That feels like a boyfriend, almost like, I want to say it would have been your second boyfriend, maybe. It was your first serious relationship, but you feel very manipulated. And I feel like when you guys met, he was like the dream guy, and he said all the right things and did all the right things. And it was literally like a switch when you guys started living together and having the same space together. And it also feels like outside of the home, he was everybody's buddy. He knew what to say to people. He knew how to talk to people. And he was just everybody's friend. And the second you guys got behind closed doors, it was a completely different person. And I also feel like nobody believed you when you guys started having problems. People were like, oh, he can't be. He's so nice. He's such a good guy. Da, 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 da. And I feel like he really did a number on you. The verbal abuse feels really intense. And also just the lack of empathy from people when you really were reaching out and needing people to help you. They weren't there because they kind of it's almost like I don't want to say they didn't fully believe you, but they definitely weren't taking you as seriously as they should, if that makes sense. And so here you are now with a series of these illnesses that are connected to that. I feel like most of it's from the relationship. Oh my God, so true. Okay, yeah. I know I can see the abuse. I can see a lot of what went down, especially at the age of 8. I also can tell loud noises like a slamming door or a slamming kitchen drawer. That makes you go, it puts you on alert. Your childhood feels like you're pretty much raised on a landmine. You were tiptoeing, never knowing when the next explosion was going to be. And that, I think, brought a lot of stress to you. I almost feel like you liked school because it was escape. It does. The triggers with the doors and stuff. Okay. But I do feel like school, it was like your escape. I think you liked school because it got you out of the house and it put you in like a safe zone. And there's something else coming through. Hang on one sec, Claudia. Yes, you loved school. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because it was a safe zone. You knew you weren't going to get hurt there. There's something else coming through at the age of 13, and I'm totally blocked. I literally was like, oh, wait, 13. And all of a sudden your hand was like that, like spiritually, like your higher self was like, don't talk about it. And I think that's okay. And there's something about your mom, and almost you feel like, for those of you who this is resonating to, 100%, if you're hearing this and it's resonating, the message is for you too. Spirit does work that way. I just say what I'm feeling and I'm specifically talking about a person, but if it's resonating, that's great. That's a good thing because it's awakening you and it's giving you validation. But what I was going to say was it was something with your mom and you feel thrown under the bus. Like, it's almost like she put you in between her issues and what was coming at her. Like, it's almost like she would put you in between an abusive environment, like use you as a wall to protect her. So yeah, I think the heart space, always. Okay, yeah. So Julie Bean, I'm so glad this is resonating for you as well. This is awesome. But the mom space feels really toxic. And I do feel like now in life, it's almost like she places blame. So there's issues with that too, which I think you can let go of because I really think she's not, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but she's not right in the mind. Yes. Okay. You know what? Julie Bean and Claudia, you guys are like right in sync. You guys need to connect. I'm so glad this is connecting for both of you. But Claudia, with your mom, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but she does feel mentally unstable, like a bipolar. And I feel like as a kid, it was like, hey, honey, how was school? Put your freaking backpack in the closet. And so you would be like, hey, mom, school was great. Oh, my God. And so it like was a constant like being electrocuted with energy. So that was another thing that was like a jolt because you would come home and you'd think, oh, good, thank God mom's in a good mood. But then within a second, she'd be screaming at you. And I do see her. Okay, thank you, you guys. That makes sense. Okay. So with that being said, one of the things that you can do is when you breathe, or if you're into meditating, I feel like I need to explain. I'm going to take some time to explain this. It's a meditation technique of releasing, because one of the things that I have a hard time with as a medium and a Reiki healer and a life coach is you read about, oh, forgive them, and release that, just forgive them. And no. I'm not going to tell somebody to be like, oh, I forgive you. But what you can do that is far more powerful and far more healing is put everything into one bubble, whether it's abuse, that person, anything that you remember about the negative treatment of them towards you. Put it in a bubble in front of you. And by this, I mean you are sitting in your space, you're calm, your mind is clear, let your tears flow, let the emotions come through. One of you is crying, so I appreciate that because that means you're healing. Let those emotions come through, breathe out, and then put everything in that bubble, everything. It's not separate moments. Put everything into a bubble as if it were one entity, because in reality, yes, there's several times in your life you get hurt, but if it's the same person, put it all into one bubble and just make it one thing. In your mind, visualize it in a white bubble and inhale and take. And I mean, when I say deep breaths, I mean as deep as you can take. Inhale as long as you can. Exhale and literally see yourself blowing that bubble out of your space, and keep breathing and exhaling until it gets farther and farther away, and then it's gone. And breathe it out of your space and let it go. And then what you want to say: thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the experience. I love myself. I no longer need this. Bye. And then when those emotions start to come to you, like you've done this release, you've had your emotional release. However, sometimes stuff will start to creep in. This is what you do. That's it. A kiss goodbye. That is like, that quick kiss blow is so powerful. And please understand, this is how I healed from a lot of stuff in myself. I have quite some stories. And so the way I kept them from revisiting and creeping into my space is just, you don't belong to me anymore. And I would do that. I mean, if I were in the grocery store and I thought of my abusive ex-husband, the person behind me would hear me go, you don't belong to me anymore. And I'd turn around and go, sorry, I'm meditating. Because you have to get rid of it the second it comes to you. Don't be like, oh, I'll wait till I get home because I'm in public. Sorry. It doesn't work that way. Bye. Doesn't belong to me anymore. And kiss it away. Because that will help. And it will heal you. And I'll tell you my own story with, and I won't get in detail, but very abusive husband, narcissist, sociopath, horrible man. And I did the whole, I'll wait till the kids are old enough. I'll wait till the kids are old enough. I'll get it one more year. I'll give it one more year. I'm going to give it one more year. 10 years later, I'm 40 pounds heavier. I have every health issue you could possibly imagine. And I hated myself. And I had psoriasis, chronic migraines. And I mean, psoriasis like on my face, my elbows, my hands, chronic migraines. I had thyroid issues, acne, sleep issues, chronic fatigue. What else? Oh, inflammation. Like my joints were always really sore, and all my blood levels were all over the place. My iron was low. I was a freaking hot mess. I got a divorce. I moved out within 6 months. I was completely healed. Not one health issue. I still had the migraines, but I was also working in banking. So yeah, AKA migraines, banking and migraines. It's the same thing. So if you can really truly learn to breathe and keep yourself out of those toxic environments, that is healing in itself. Or if you're in those toxic environments, because sometimes truly we don't have a choice. Toxic environments are everywhere. Or if someone's around you, you don't want to talk to them. And just breathe and just get through it. And then when you get home, do something really positive. That's a very high energy, high vibrational, self-healing, self-care type practice. And then you'll be okay. All right. And then for those of you that resonated with, feel free to reach out to me for a medical reading if you need. I'll discount your services. Julie Bean. All of you guys, and there was a medium something, I didn't catch your full name, but definitely reach out to me for a reading at my Facebook page, Define Your Glow. We'll go over your energy, we'll go over your chakras, I'll even do Reiki, I'll do a chakra alignment and kind of get you guys back on track and at least awaken the areas where healing needs to take place, and then you can start working forward on that path, okay? Hey, Rhonda, how's it going? Yeah, Claudic, you're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay. So now I'm going to be done. I've been on here forever. Julie being 55, you're so welcome. I appreciate you being like, this resonates with me. Oh my God. Yeah, Rhonda, you got to message me. I miss talking to you. Medium frequency. Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate that. All right, you guys, I truly am sending you, if you were on this live tonight, and even if you're not on it now, if you were on this live tonight, you're receiving Reiki in about 10 minutes, because I'm going to get off my live. I'm going to do sound bowls. I'm going to light candles. I'm going to do Palo Santo, and I'm going to send you guys some energy. Thank you, Darcy. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much. I'm going to send you guys Reiki, all the good healing things, okay? So much love, so much high vibes. Don't forget to, like and follow. All those fun TikTok things. All right, you guys. So much love and high vibes. You guys have a great night, okay? And Rhonda, message me.